This is the story of me learning how to graft on my peach tree. I got this peach tree who knows how long ago, perhaps 20 years ago. So it's near its final age right now. But it was bought as a cocktail tree with many different strains of peaches on it. And due to the fact that I had a bunch of children and I had a full-time job, I never paid much attention to this tree. And what happened was that one side of the tree grew quite well and bore nice fruit early. And the other side of the tree, either the rootstock took over, quite likely, at least in this one instance, or something else, a bad grower in this 9B climate took off. But what happened was these two main trunks bore horrible fruit that tasted horrible and was, I think it quite likely is rootstock. So in January of 2021, I decided to start grafting scions from this side of the tree onto this side of the tree. So what I am going to show you now is my three different 21, 22, and 23 instances of what happened to my grafts. I always grafted the first week of January. It's now February 7th, 2023. So here's one or several, some of which are marked in red, that I grafted in 2021. So these are alive, but you don't see much opening up yet. There are a few more that I grafted either in 2021 or 2022 that have taken off. Here's the graft right here. It was one of those slip notch grafts. Here's the old wood and here's the new wood. And there were probably two buds on this scion and they generated this and this. Here's another graft. This is possibly from last year. I'm not really sure since it's so small. But again, you can see the graft junction right here. And you can see that now it is in bloom, so that's pretty exciting. Here's another graft, either from 21 or 22, right here, in bloom. These are crossing. I'll probably cut one of these off shortly, but I want to see what happens. And here's a graft that I definitely made last year when I got a little bit more experience and I started grafting larger pieces of branch. And what I discovered was the important thing is to line up the cambium layer, of course, but really tightly bind the scion into the slip or the slot that you've made in the original wood. And so this graft from 1 year now is totally in bloom. Here's another successful graft down here. You can see the graft point. And this has really got a lot of bloom on it. So these all took. There were obviously several that I didn't take, but those were mostly in the first year. I tried to make one into the side of this bark, and that didn't take. And here are some that I made this year. So these are about 5 weeks ago now. And this was such a big diameter of branch, I decided to split it down the middle and put two scions in there. And we're going to see how those come on, but they look like they are holding on. They're still alive. And the question is, when should I remove the bind? I did remove the bind on this slip graft right here, and that looks like it's still pretty alive, right? Here's another one. I'm going to paint all these bases a different color so I know what year I did them. But this one is another one that it was a thick accepting branch. I split that accepting branch down the middle and aligned one larger scion in there, and I plugged the hole with another piece of the wood, but it's not, I don't expect it to do anything. I just wanted it to hold the slot. We'll see how that works out. Here are a couple up here of successful grafts from last year, and since they're in good sun, they've really taken off. I've trimmed one of them back, and they're about to bloom. Some are blooming at the tip where they reach the sun. So all in all, I think I've figured out stone fruit grafting on branches. Here's another one that I did this year that's still bound, and the buds on it look viable. So we'll observe what happens in a couple more weeks. The other side of the tree is nicely in bloom. I'll take you over and show you that. What I'm happy about is I trimmed this branch significantly. You can see the cut ends, and I'm delighted to see that new green growth has sprouted further down the stem. I've been afraid to do that to this tree, but it forced growth to come out the last 3 feet of the branch, but not this 3 foot of the branch. Although everything is, all the smaller branches off that are looking real good. So there you have it.